borscht. I've never I had a Ukrainian player that when I used to own a team named Resolution, he made borscht for me. He says he butchered it, so he didn't make it correctly, but I had it anyway. I think it was 16 months.
Yes, it was almost a year and a half.
Oh my god!
I'm not
it's
joking.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
16 months.
Yeah.
You were inside of a
I
house?
truly don't go outside.
And I want to win exactly right now. And the first day I want to be big boss. What should I do?
6 nights.
6 nights.
Yes, sir.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
If I understand, I'm a little offended. I get it. I'm a little heavy.
Hey guys, all I eat are fucking salads all day.
I didn't say that.
Hey, I'm Pranik. Welcome to WePlay channel and our new episode of podcast called Bramble Ramble. Today we have special guests who arrived to Ukraine as a Dota underlords casters. And we had a lucky chance to talk to them. The man who brought me to the Dota underlords world, a swim. I subscribed to his channel from the very first day of his channel. And the second guest is a man who created the most anticipated channel of a Dota and Dota underlords, Dota Cinema, Sans Fan. Hi guys, how are you?
I'm good. I'm having a good time. I'm kind of sucking in my gut a little bit. I've put on some weight. I don't want to look too fat. So.
And I'm sucking out my gut to make him look skinnier as well.
So that's why you are drinking without bubbles.
That's right.
Okay. We're glad to see you in Kiev. This is your first time in Ukraine.
No.
3 for me.
2 for
Three,
me. Yeah.
2. So share your first impressions.
Cream cheese isn't everything, and I enjoy it very much, but it destroys my gut. So I've been banned from having cream cheese in anything, unfortunately.
Yeah. First impression, we both arrived at the same time in December, middle of winter.
Oh.
You guys took us to a walking tour in the city. It was snowing, very cold.
Oh my god.
I didn't bring layers either. I didn't know, so.
He bought 2 hats on the trip.
I bought 2 hats during that walk in like 3 hours.
There are a lot of stereotypes about CIS countries and, of course, about Ukraine. Had you any funny expectations when you first was visiting Ukraine? Funny expectations, what you will see here?
I wouldn't say it was funny expectation. I think the day we arrived the first time, the city went into martial law. I wouldn't say this is a stereotype, but I was like, holy shit, what am I doing?
Yeah, a little bit.
And then one of the WePlay guys, it's fine, don't worry about it. It happens all the time. So I'm like, all right. And nothing happened, and everything's been fine since. So I don't know what stereotype. I don't even know.
I kind of, when I showed up, I was expecting to see a bunch of people like squatting in like Adidas pants or something. Is that you guys?
Yeah, that sounds
like,
right.
Yeah.
So
but I didn't see any, so that's good.
So you didn't expect to see people who drink vodka or some kind of drunk people wearing red trousers, Cossacks with sabers?
No, that sounds like a cartoon. I mean, people drink vodka in the U.S. as well. I mean, I guess there's a stereotype for Russians specifically, I suppose, that drink vodka.
So there's no stereotypes about Ukraine?
Not specifically. I mean, I've hung out with some Russians and I guess Ukrainians as well in the U.S. And I guess now that I think about it, they are pretty good drinkers.
Yeah.
I can't
It's
hold
our
my
talent.
liquor personally. Yeah, it is a talent, I suppose.
Okay, you are working as a caster with WePlay now. Any differences as compared to European or American studios or tournament operators?
Well, it's I think that personally the production of things is very high quality, very big company, but it's a little like goofy in certain ways, which isn't bad. It's actually, I like it. It's very funny. It kind of sets you guys apart.
Yeah, I pretty much will echo the exact same thing. Production quality is extremely high, but the reason that I actually took the first job, because I'd never heard of WePlay before, is because they said it would be goofy, and I only want to do goofy. I don't want to do serious. I don't want to wear a suit. I don't even put on makeup, for God's sake. I want to look hideous. I want to look dumb. So this is good situation overall.
I'm with you to a degree. I want to look a little hideous, but I did let them put a bit of makeup on me.
Okay, figures.
Not too hideous though. I can't look like my normal self.
No one wants to see that, I suppose.
Oh,
See, if you give them-
only me who
if you give
subscribed
them
from the
low
first day.
expectations,
Yeah, exactly.
if you have low expectations, which I'm giving them the lowest expectation. then
Oh,
it
I
doesn't matter going
see. I see
forward,
your
you know?
plan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you think about standard of professionalism in esports? I mean, esports was an underground phenomenon, and now it's like
What do you mean specifically?
standard of professionalism in esports. I mean, do you have any standards,
I would hope so.
or are you just doing it chaotically?
If you've watched my stream, you know I don't have standards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very vague question. So I guess standards in terms of being treated while I'm at a tournament as a talent. Yeah, of course, there's definitely standards. I think one thing that esports, in my experience in the Dota and I guess Artifact technically and underlords scene, hotels, for example, have always been like super good. Living conditions when in terms of having a handler and people that help out in terms of translations, things like that. For the most part, there's definitely a certain standard that needs to be met, and I probably have only experienced a couple times that standard was not met, which I guess I won't talk about, but
Yeah.
it's not here, obviously.
Yeah. This man got the first time he was in Kiev, he got a massage. He was talking with Eugene, and he was like, "Hey, I always get a massage when I travel for events. Can you send me up a masseuse to my room?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, sure." And I was like, "Hey, let me get in on this action. I've never had a massage." And both of us got massages that night.
Yeah, we gave each other massages, actually.
Oh.
That was a very that's how we got really close, actually. Just the most sensual massage possible.
Okay. So, can you tell me what was your best experience as a caster, working experience ever? At what tournament you had such experience?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Maybe this one or previous?
Best experience. Well, obviously, WePlay has been great, but if I had to pick one, it would be Captain's Draft 3.0. Not just from casting perspective, but because it was me and my girlfriend, Nikki, we essentially organized that entire tournament by ourselves. It was a minor for Dota 2, and it was the most work I've ever had to put into any project. And to see it come to fruition with minor problems and the fact that people remember it to this day brings pride to me personally. So probably Captain's Draft was my favorite experience. Like at the time, I was miserable though. Just completely goddamn miserable because I was so stressed out. But once it was over, I could appreciate. Well, and my wallet was a lot lighter as well, unfortunately. But regardless of all those negatives that sound just absolutely awful, the fact that we did it correctly, I think I was happy with.
What about you, Swim?
This one right here.
Right here.
Yeah, this is my favorite. So I don't have as much casting experience as this man over here. He's been through a lot more than me.
Yeah, he's a god of casting.
But yeah, this is like out of like all the live studios I've been to, this is my favorite one so far. And I'm really liking this tournament. I think casting Underlords, I was a little dubious at first. I was like, God, how are we going to cast this game? There's like 8 different players all at the same time, right? And we have to like follow them. We have to like watch a lot of players, but we can't like watch too many things at once. It's all a bit messy, but it ended up actually being pretty smooth. And from what I saw, a lot of people liked it and enjoyed it.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for speaking about working all over the world and traveling. The best place to have a vacation.
Vacation. That's
Yeah.
a great. Since I started working in esports, I have not actually been on any vacation. I mean, I grew up in the Middle East, and I've been to many countries. I've lived in. Do you have one that jumps out to you?
Nothing. I've never.
You had no vacations?
I've never been on a vacation in my life.
Oh my God.
Wow. I guess mine's a little weird because it just comes from personal experience. But I lived in Cyprus during the Gulf War because we had to evacuate the Middle East.
Oh my.
And I lived there. I lived there for 6 months, and I went to. I think it was first grade for part of it.
Sounding like a good vacation already.
And by the time we left, I came out with a British accent.
Wow.
I literally had a British
Let's
accent.
hear it.
Oh, you talk like a British person. Oh, that's fine. You can talk like this if you like. We can do this the whole episode.
I've never heard this before.
I can do a lot of accents.
Oh,
But anyway,
wow.
so I would actually want to go to Cyprus a lot because it was like Croatia. I've been recently with Dota. It's very nice. It actually reminds me of Ukraine to a degree as well, but Cyprus specifically. I think.
Okay, so you are Swim never had a vacation in your entire life?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a gamer. If I want to go on a vacation, I just load up a game, right? It's like I don't know. I
Find
don't
places
really go
inside
places.
the games.
Exactly. Yeah. I recently was not on a vacation, but I was visiting some family in Vegas just last week. And it wasn't like I wouldn't want to like vacation there, I guess, but it was a kind of nice place. I played some cards at the Aria, one of the casinos there.
I think Las Vegas is like probably the
One and done.
It feels like it's a very stressful environment. Every time I'm there, it's just like people handing out flyers constantly.
yeah.
It's so disgusting and dirty. There's so many sounds, so many drunk people, hookers all over the place.
Cigarettes and
Yeah.
it's just like
Not the best
It's
time
horrible.
for a vacation. Okay, don't you mind me if we're gonna have some blitz? I have just one question. If I'm going to visit a certain country, what food should I taste in the first place? Just
Okay.
one question. And the list of the countries.
Okay.
I choose a country and you give me a piece of advice based on your experience. Let's start. Based on your experience, Swim. Ukraine. What food should I taste in the first place in Ukraine?
Kiev cake.
What?
Yeah, Kiev cake.
Kiev cake?
Yeah. The dessert.
I live in Ukraine and I know I don't know what is
I've
it.
seen that on the menu a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had it multiple
Kiev
times.
cake.
Kiev cake.
Kiev cake.
Yeah.
Okay, Ukrainians. Do you know what is Kiev cake is?
Kievski tort.
Kiev cake.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought about Kiev cake, something like that. Okay, Kiev cake. Okay. Well, you think that Kiev cake too?
Probably chicken Kiev. I like how both our answers are chicken Kiev in the name. Yeah, chicken Kiev. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the greatest thing I've ever had, but it's really nice. It's like chicken stuffed with. Honestly, I don't even remember anymore. I literally had it
Did
the
you
other
taste
day.
it?
too.
I don't think I've had
Salo.
Really? It's good. It's
Did you
good.
taste it salo?
Salo? I don't think so. Well, maybe.
It's number one in Ukraine.
It's number
Salo.
one?
Yeah, it's a fat of a pig.
Pig fat.
Pig fat.
That's a food?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's very tasty. It's the number one food in Ukraine. Am I right?
I'll have to try that.
Salo.
Oh.
Sounds awful.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
No. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
awful.
yeah.
Sounds good.
I will get it next time.
Equalizer. Okay, and the number two is the borscht.
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 Borscht. I've never I had a Ukrainian player that when I used to own a team named Resolution, he made borscht for me. He says he butchered it, so he didn't make it correctly, but I had it anyway. The ingredients are just not. It does not sound like something I would like. It's beet soup essentially, like broth or something. I'm not a fan of
potato.
beets. Yeah.
Nothing.
Like when the main
unusual.
ingredient is something I know I don't like, which is beets, then probably won't like it.
Okay, so you tasted borscht. You didn't taste it. Okay.
I'm kind of with Suns fan though. I'm not a big beat person kind of guy. You know.
Okay. So, what food should I taste in the first place if I meet in Thailand? If I'm visiting Thailand,
Well,
cockroaches maybe,
crickets.
crickets.
I would say I think Thai curry is one of my favorite foods in the world. Masuman
Masuman.
curry. Yeah. Very good.
And
I'm a big fan of pad thai, but I've only had it in America, not actually in Thailand itself. I've never been.
Probably just more sugar in America.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
okay, Sweden.
Meatballs. In Sweden, I actually had reindeer for the first time. And it
Reindeer?
was
Oh.
really good. Like, extremely good.
Oh,
I'd have to try it again, though.
Nothing really comes to mind. Bail me out here, man.
Meatballs.
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 Final answer.
Okay, USA.
Burger, of course.
Burger.
Barbecue.
McDonald's or
No, not McDonald's.
not McDonald's?
Just there's a lot of restaurants that make really good burgers. I actually recently found a new restaurant. It's not like a chain. There's only like 3, but it's the actual best burger I've ever had in my life. It's what does it have? It has a sauce. It's all about sauce with me.
Yeah.
It's called like Chipotle mayo. You guys have anything like that?
I don't think so. We have only 2 or 3 burger restaurants, so
Oh, I see.
we don't have such.
Can I say one thing that's disappointing me about Ukraine?
what?
It's not just Ukraine now. I think it's anywhere in Europe. I have a real hard time getting a cherry Coke. It's killing me. Like it's not about like sometimes we go to like a grocery store in the U.S. You can buy like a can of cherry Coke, right? That one's okay. I'm more talking about if you go to a restaurant or a bar, I want them to make me a cherry Coke. You get Coke and you put cherry grenadine in it.
Oh.
And everywhere I've gone, they have no idea what I'm talking about. And now I'm just like constantly craving cherries.
This man has a problem. This man,
Yeah.
everywhere he goes, he eats cherries. I was eating with him at the hotel breakfast. He was just eating waffles with cherries on it.
Yeah.
He's just like, he just chugs cherry Pepto-Bismol. He's just everything cherries.
It's delicious.
Okay, so you're all about cherries.
That's right.
And you, Swim, what food should I taste in USA at first place?
Barbecue. Texas barbecue. Yeah.
BBQ. So
Oh, come on.
What kind? No, that's fine. What kind of meat? Like what kind of? What's your plate look like?
It's a lot of like,
Like brisket or something?
yeah.
You don't even know what.
No, I'm not really like a big food kind of person.
So your answer is just a stereotypical thing from a state that you just recently moved from.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, just wanted to make
And
sure.
I lived there for less than a year.
but burgers wasn't.
No, burgers is that's my favorite food probably. So.
But what kind of burger, Suns fan?
I can tell you. I mean, Western types of burgers with onion rings on them, for example, and the sauce is very important. Like I said, you got to get a medium rarity, if you will. No tomatoes though. Tomatoes are the worst.
You don't like tomatoes?
Raw
I like tomatoes. I like tomatoes.
If it's cooked, everyone likes tomatoes except for me. But raw tomatoes are the devil.
What about sun-dried tomatoes?
Yeah, they're not on a burger, but yeah, they're fine.
I've had sun-dried tomatoes on a burger before.
Okay, let's go to the next country because I'm jealous. I'm jealous. You have so much choose. Italy.
Spaghetti. I don't know if I've ever been to Italy, so that's what I would say. I want spaghetti. Maybe pizza. No, I've heard that the pizza there is weird compared to what we're used to. Like they don't have red sauce. That sounds horrible. Yeah, spaghetti.
Spaghetti. And you, what do you think this way?
I'm going to double down on my answer before and say meatballs again.
Meatballs.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, but I prefer calzone.
Calzone?
Okay,
Okay.
that's a good answer.
Yeah,
Good answer.
that sounds good.
It's
You're making me
very
hungry, by the
tasty.
way. Can we get calzones by any chance? That'd be great.
You don't have calzone? No, I don't think so. China.
Ooh, probably my least favorite country I've ever visited. I would say nothing.
Nothing.
I don't like any of the food in China. So the food in China that I've experienced, of course, this is 3 separate instances, but the only time I've liked the food is when it's just like American, like they're trying to cater to the Americans. But like the normal Chinese food is not what we're used to in America.
Yeah.
It's very tasteless, I want to say. There's less oomph to it. I don't know what better way.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a hard time eating.
There's like no taste at all sometimes.
Yeah, it's very bland. So that's why I end up just eating McDonald's while I'm there, just constantly. Yeah.
And there's no burgers in China at all, so nothing. Your answer is nothing.
Correct.
Swim?
Dog.
Dog.
Yes.
Okay, it's a Korea dog.
Is it?
Yeah, not a China. Not a China.
I've never been.
Never been? Okay. What food should I taste if I ever visiting Poland?
Got this one. When I was in Poland, I had McDonald's.
Very good. And how was it?
Okay, now it's a circle. It's a circle. We're always getting to McDonald's. Okay, so if you are at home, what's the best meal for you?
Burger.
Oh no, you are doing burgers.
All right, you want
at
to hear
home?
the best meal? This is going to be very trashy. I've actually had some really good foods. Like I owned a team, and our owner was really rich. Okay, he took me to like the best restaurant. I know this is gonna sound weird. I don't like steak that much. I find it underwhelming. Like I'd rather have a burger. But I had steak, and it was one of the best things I've ever had. But having said that, my favorite meal, and I don't even think you know what this is. You will, is a plate full to the brim, like overflowing, with Totino's pizza rolls. Do you know what this is?
You know, we don't have pizza rolls in Ukraine.
It's. I used to eat that in my back before my esports days when I was depressed in my room.
Yeah.
Living with some random chick that I barely even had contact with.
It's the way to do it.
And Totino pizza rolls got me through hard times.
Out of
And they're
all
delicious.
the foods in the entire world,
Yeah.
any combination of tastes, any cultures, and you
And
just
you
a plate of
choose
Totino's pizza rolls.
It's
pizza rolls. Okay, sweet. What about you?
I'm a big fan of salads. I eat a lot of salads.
Oh,
Usually, when I'm out, I'll eat a lot of like variety, but when I'm back home, I eat almost nothing but salads.
All right.
Basically, exclusively.
So I'm just gonna call you out here for a second. Now, when you say salad,
Yes.
can you please describe what that is? Is it like you have like a couple pieces of
What's
lettuce and a
inside?
huge fucking
So,
chicken?
It's got kale, some nuts. There's a little bit of chicken, no dressing or anything like that. It's just like chicken, possibly with like a bit of like light glaze or seasoning. And I'm a really big fan of kale. Yes. I understand your disbelief. I understand. I'm a little offended. I get it. I'm a little heavy.
Hey guys,
I proudly.
all I eat are fucking salads all day.
I didn't
You
say
know
that. Well, okay.
we're eating burgers.
Yes.
And we're at the same shape. So maybe you're doing wrong.
First of all, I'd like to clarify, I basically don't exercise. Also, very importantly, I've let myself go a little bit recently. When Sunsfan and I saw each other last December,
Yeah.
I was a little bit less fat.
Were you?
Yes.
I
believe it or not.
feel like you haven't changed at all.
Okay.
So what you're saying is you've gained weight
Yes.
from salad. So you should write a book on how to gain weight by eating
salads.
salad. 'Cause I would love to read that shit.
I said I've let myself go a little bit. When I
By
was-
eating what?
What?
You have to eat something to gain weight. It's not just sitting and doing it.
Like pizzas and stuff,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Random stuff.
So you're
Like
saying
fast food, junk food.
You're saying your favorite food right now is salad. You just don't eat it.
Well, for a few months I didn't really want to like prepare anything, and I don't really like it unless it's prepared just the way I like it. That's the whole point.
That's okay. I'm gonna let it go. No more.
looking at your social media, I noticed that delicious food plays an essential role for you both. But what is your real passion?
My real passion is swim.
Oh,
Guys, have an announcement. Real
what's
passion.
your real passion?
I mean, gaming, I guess. I mean, I would hope to God that's my passion since that's my job now. Like I mean, let me take you through a typical day in the life of Suns fan. I wake up at about 4 p.m.
Okay.
That's if I have a meeting. If not, then it's 5 p.m. I wake up in my pajama pants and t-shirt. And then I take a shower, I brush my teeth, I eat food, I go on my computer, and then 16 hours later, I go to bed, and that's my entire day. I don't leave the house. I don't do anything. I mean, look, I live in Arizona, which is like one of the hottest places on earth.
You can't leave the house.
Has the most sun of any state, I believe. And I am this pale white. I don't leave the house.
Why did they call Florida the sunshine state then?
Because they're liars.
So your best friend is a chair, I guess.
Yeah, I have many chairs.
So what about you, Swim?
Okay, so
What's your real passion?
A day in my life is I'll wake up,
Okay.
usually afternoon, like 2 p.m. if I'm not streaming, which I always am. And then I'll basically just sit in my chair and play video games for like 14 hours, like he said. It's we're we're gamers. Dude. Okay, Suns fan.
Do you live together? Or?
No. We're not like that.
Stories is
we're very
identical.
close. We're very close, but we're not like that. All right, Suns fan.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you? I think I might have told you. You might have not believed. I did tell you. You didn't believe me. Do you remember? I once told you the amount of time I have gone concurrently without going outside. Like how many days in a row?
Yes, and I still don't believe you.
What was the answer?
7.
I think it was 16 months.
Yes, it was about. It was
What?
almost a year and a half.
Oh my god!
I'm not
it's
joking.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
16 months?
Yeah.
You were inside of a
I
house?
truly don't go outside. I'm a hermit.
Maybe you were locked.
In the house. No. I almost don't believe in the outside. I just like staying indoors.
Did I tell you there's a term for that?
What?
I don't remember.
I'm not agoraphobic.
No, not that. Like there's a phenomenon in I think Japan specific. I watched a video on it. It's like I can't remember the name. You guys can probably Google it. It's something like Kokumaru or something like that, where a lot of people or a lot of kids like stay in the room for literal decades.
Yeah.
And they
I'm half
rent
Japanese, bro.
They rent sisters. Their parents usually rent them sisters to come talk to them, make them more social. To try to get them out of the room.
No. My parents tried to do that same thing with me.
And what happened? You just moved out.
It didn't work.
What happened?
I was joking. That's so weird. Why would anyone? No one would do that. That's super weird.
I don't think that's weird.
Renting sisters to make you more social.
Okay.
Well, it depends what you call it. When you say it like that, when you say renting sisters,
Yeah, I'm not talking about prostitutes or anything.
that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, what are you saying then?
Well, it's just like they're not trying to like pay people to be friends. It's like specifically sisters out of all things.
It's just a closer friend. It's family. I mean, the idea of renting doing whatever you can to get your goddamn kid out of the goddamn house. A year and 4, I don't know. That's obscene. But what got you out of the room eventually? Totino's Pizza Rolls or something?
I don't even remember. Probably like a dentist appointment or some random thing.
Was it like when you left the house, did you even realize it was the first time you were leaving the house?
Yeah, of course.
Was it a big moment for you?
No, of course not.
Maybe the house collapsed or it was something like that, no?
Interesting.
It was just an ordinary reason.
This guy thinks he's living the like neat indoors gamer life, doesn't go outside. I think I have him a little bit beat on this one.
This isn't a competition. I thought it's more disgusting.
What a competition, guys. I don't think it's a good competition. Okay, what do you think? Why is the younger generation so passionate about gaming now?
Well, a couple reasons. One, it's more accessible than it used to be. I mean, back in my day, used to have like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, its console, which was pretty widely accessible, but computers weren't anything special back then. And then the internet arrived, and that's when everybody could connect with each other. And now the people that are coming of age, if you will, they've had that in their life there forever. Like it's not like a new thing for them. They're actually growing up with it. So games are just a natural part of being on a computer or being on console or whatever. So, yeah.
Don't you find it like antisocial thing?
I think it's actually more social.
Yeah.
Like if I can, how do I put this? 15 years ago, before I had internet or whenever, I don't even know what year it was, but I was very antisocial. And I still, I'm very, what's the word? I'm an introvert, so I don't like to go out and party and all that stuff.
Meet the people.
And that's not going to change. Like it's always going to be like that. But I was also technically antisocial. Like it just wouldn't want to talk to people in general. But the internet is actually the reason I'm not like that anymore. Yeah. So I think it's the opposite, depending on your situation. Obviously, everybody has different backgrounds.
Okay, so it's the way for you to be social.
Yeah. Like most
Being
of my friends
in the
are
house
online.
every time, but talking to people.
Yeah, exactly.
Good way. So what about you, Swim?
I don't know. I mean, I completely agree. It's like video gaming, I think, is very social. Like, I played Dota for a very long time, for like 4.5 years. That's part of the reason I didn't go outside, because I was always indoors playing Dota. And like, you queue into a game, there's like 10 people, and you're just constantly interacting. Like, you're flaming your teammates, you're flaming your opponents. Like, there's just there's a lot of human interaction going on there.
It's not a good interactions.
Very toxic.
Toxic interactions is not an.
That is Dota.
That is
Not a good
Dota.
example
That
of
is
inter-
Dota.
interaction.
In Underlords, all you can do is hit the yo button.
Exactly.
You can do such interactions from a balcony, you know. You're a piece of shit. That's not this interaction that I meant, but okay. Why are you so passionate about gaming? You're like me, is not a younger generation. We're kind of some old people for the gaming.
For me,
Why?
well, God, you just love making noise for no particular reason.
This is like my third one. I'm a very
From nowhere.
thirsty boy.
I grew up with gaming. Like I said, I had a Nintendo growing up, Super Nintendo, then PlayStation, Xbox, etc. But I would call myself a casual gamer for that amount of time. And then I had access to, this is actually funny. So I think it was 1998, we finally got internet I've never had internet before. And we got cable internet actually. So I never had to
Wow.
experience 56K or anything like that.
Started from a cable.
Right, so I had good internet to start, and I started playing Quake 2, and I was like, oh, this is cool. This is very nice. And then Half-Life 1 came out, and my friend made me buy it, and that's when I got super hooked. I was skinny back then, and I was on the basketball team. I was actually really good at basketball. Did you know that? I scored 52 points in a game once. I was really good.
Wow.
So had aspirations for potentially making, this was in middle school, so making the high school team, maybe even making college team. Never, like NBA was unrealistic, but like college team perhaps. But then Half-Life came out, and I played it nonstop.
Your NBA career was destroyed.
And I got fat pretty much immediately, like super fat.
Okay.
I ended up losing the weight later, and then this fatness came somewhat recently, as a few years ago, but more metabolism related and age. But anyway, my point is I got obsessed with gaming around high school, and I never knew what I wanted to do for a living. And that was kind of my biggest thing in high school and college. I'm like, why am I going to these classes? None of this interests me. Back then, there wasn't like any prestigious like game design or game related classes I could take, so I just got like a general degree. But I knew growing up that if I could, and it's obviously back then it was quite unrealistic, if I could, I just want to do something in games, and I just didn't know what it was. I knew I wanted to work somehow with video games. And of course, growing up, the only thing that was really, I don't know if realistic is the right word, but the only path that I could see was game design. So I took game design class, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking horrible. I can't code. I hate coding. This is horrible. Can I even do anything in gaming? So then eventually got into Dota, and then got into Heroes of Newerth. And that's when I started, like, I could actually commentate, because that's when streaming platforms started to come out. So I guess, long story short, I just like video games. I could have just said that, I guess.
Sounds about right. I mean, for me, it was basically at a young age. My parents never let me play video games much. They didn't buy me any of the big boy games. I had like a Game Boy. That was like it. I had one Game Boy and like a Pokemon game and a Zelda game. You know.
Oh, we played Pokemon games.
Just like one, you know.
Just one.
And all the other kids, they had their super cool toys, their video games, their big boy games. I just wanted to,
So it's because you were deprived.
Exactly.
It's the same way with me and soda.
Yeah.
That's why I'm obsessed with soda.
It's just because your parents didn't let you drink.
Yeah.
Man, when will
So
parents
it's
learn?
revenge.
And that's exactly right. It's like when I kind of grew up and like moved out, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play video games, and then
16 months in a
I
row.
did it way too much, and now I'm kind of at the point in my life where I have just done nothing for the past 10 years, and I kind of have no other options.
If gaming just ended, you would have no options at all.
Yep.
Same with me. Pretty
Right?
much. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in this together, buddy.
Got it.
Let's be honest. Have you ever had a wish to give up and find
On life
normal,
or a career?
Give up on life.
love
Whoa.
on love or on gaming? No, I mean on gaming. To give up and just find a normal job or
No.
ordinary job. Maybe because of pressure from your...
When I first started, it was as a hobby, and then Dota Cinema kind of blew up, and it's just been a job ever since. So there's been no, like, I wouldn't say we've gotten to a point where I'm like, oh God, I can't pay the bills anymore. Like, it's never been that kind of an issue, but which I've been fortunate, obviously, for. But if I had to, like, I've had normal. I don't know if you've had a normal job, but
Never.
I've had it.
Never once. Nope.
It is like, based on what the jobs I was getting, I would get like tech support for, like, GoDaddy was one company I got it for, which is a domain registration company, and it is legitimately miserable. Helping people is miserable, you know, on the phone at least. It's very, very tough because people scream at you sometimes, and it's just not fun. So, and the whole, like, reason that I enjoy this lifestyle so much is because I can kind of just do whatever I want. It's like owning your own business. You can wake up whenever you want as long as it's feasible, especially in the gaming industry, where if I wake up at 4 p.m., it doesn't really matter because people are, like, I'm interacting with people across the globe anyway, so time zones don't really apply unless you need, like, a specific meeting or something like that. So I wouldn't want to ever have a strict night. Like, for example, even if it was in the gaming industry and some company came up to me and offered me a lot of money to do a 9-to-5 job every day, I probably would say no. Unless it was for a shit ton, then I would probably do it. But if it's a reasonable amount, I do not like to have, like, strict work times. I just like doing my own thing.
So you're doing this because it's fun.
Yeah.
At first place.
Yeah.
It's fun. And what about you, Swim?
Yeah,
You
it's
did-
a pretty similar situation. I've never had like a normal
had a
real
normal
job.
You know, I tell people all the time that come into esports,
But-
you should probably get a
but-
job just for like a month, just to understand how bad it is, just to get like that
I can-
sense of
I can
reality.
imagine
You know,
it.
sure you can.
Well, okay, so actually, my parents used to pay me an allowance to clean the bathroom.
No,
Oh,
No.
that's an...
I mean maybe you're back.
unusual.
Right. No, I've never had a real job. No, not once. I don't really plan to. It's kind
From
of the
where
same.
did you get the money then?
Well, I mean,
need-
my parents supported me like fairly early on, and I've just been like streaming for the past several years. Basically, the idea of exactly what he was saying, which is like just being able to kind of be your own boss, is something that's very appealing to me. I mean, I really hate this feeling of like too much structure, like to the point where I didn't even really like school, right? Like I like learning. I really do. I watch a lot of like interesting YouTube videos. I literally watch full lectures on YouTube, but I didn't like just going to school and having to go at a specific time and like take the tests. I just didn't like that structure that I felt like I couldn't really choose or control very much.
Is it
And
more subject related?
that too, somewhat, but that's part of it, but not all of it. Because like, you know, also like a lot of degrees are just kind of like complete garbage and worthless and
Like mine, yeah.
yeah, exactly like yours.
So I guess you had exactly this situation with your parents, like Swim.
Yeah.
They supported you.
Yeah, that was probably the first couple years, and then Dota Cinema took off, and then I could, just expand to other stuff.
So they believed that someday you will be famous in the gaming scene.
Who?
Your parents.
No.
But why did they?
I didn't either. I mean,
Well,
I never wanted to be quote unquote famous, and I still don't want to be famous. I don't enjoy that aspect.
You
of it, honestly.
have 1.3 million subscribers.
And that went down. That was 1.4 last week.
Yeah.
So- Whew, not good.
Get ready, after this podcast, it will be 1 million.
Yeah, maybe.
So okay. Do you have your own top list of games? Speaking about my favorites, I'm gonna choose the Final Fantasy series. I really love JRPGs. I really love Rocket League. It's another discipline. And I really love Quantic Dream series of games by David Cage. It's a Heavy Rain, it's a Detroit Become Human, and Beyond Two Souls. About story, they are like films, they are like cinema. What about your games, Swim? Top 5 list.
I don't really play video games.
Okay.
He really hates
I've
video
seen
games.
you played Dota Underlords.
Yeah. You know, I play games on stream. I don't know, man. It's like the last few years I haven't really played much video games. Do you ever?
Do you play
feel
just
that way?
one game?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think that it's often like, you know, when you make something your job that used to be your hobby, it's sort of hard for you to be able to enjoy it as much in downtime anymore. And that feels most for me in the kinds of games that I play. Like, I have to stream like card games, so when I'm playing something like casual off stream, I want it to be something kind of like more just like at least a little bit actiony. Like, I played some Overwatch for fun. I think it's a very similar phenomenon to like how porn actresses and actors feel, you know, when they have to, you know, it's kind of hard to.
I know.
Yeah. This guy gets it.
I know.
You look so. You have this face.
I've seen this before.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, so your first, so I guess your first place will be Dota Underlords now. Second place will be maybe Artifact.
Dota, probably
Dota.
Honestly, first place is Dota. Like at the end of the day, like if I can't really do the time commitment anymore. I don't want to kind of go back into Dota and let it take over my life. But I've put like over 10,000 hours into the game, and that's not even that much compared to like a lot of people. And it's something I can't afford to do much anymore. But it's still like my game, you know. I'll never be able to escape
I have
that.
30 hours. 30 hours.
30,000.
No, 30 hours. And the Dota Underlord. Okay.
Yeah, sounds bad.
In Underlord? I don't know.
No.
How many hours?
Artifact?
No, just Dota.
Oh. Like,
Yeah, Dota.
Not that, like 8,000.
Oh.
It's not very much.
8,000.
Yeah.
I was playing with some of the WePlay guys. We were playing a couple orbits of poker, and they were saying like they had like 20,000 or 30,000 or you know whatever. Which is, you know, yeah, it's
Oh my god, this is
hardcore
incredible.
Dota players are hardcore.
But as for you, Sounds fan, in your Twitter, you gave your top 5 list of games.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would be helpful
Back
because
in
I've
the
already
days.
forgotten it.
Back in the days. So the first place is a Counter-Strike.
Oh.
You wrote about it.
Easily.
Second place is a Dota 2, Dota 1.
Yep, easily.
Third place, Half-Life series. 1, 2, 3 maybe someday.
I really put that on there?
Brood War.
Brood War.
Brood War.
Okay. I think this might be like the best series of all time, maybe. Go ahead. And fifth?
And fifth, Heroes of New Earth.
Okay. I
So-
could probably change that a bit.
You will change it.
My personal
Okay.
5, I mean, I don't know in what particular order. I mean, Dota has to be probably top of the list. If Dota and Counter-Strike are pretty interchangeable for me. The new, like CSGO, I'm not a huge fan of because I'm kind of an elitist. But like when I talked about, I was obsessed with Half-Life. That was in 1998, and then 99 is when Beta 1 of Counter-Strike came out, and that's when I became I played Beta 1 of Counter-Strike, and I didn't like it that much. I played it a bit every now and then Beta 4 came out a few months later, and they introduced Dust 1, which was the first destruction map, because it was always hostage rescue until that point. And that's when I got super hooked. And I played that for 15 years or something like that, and I was professional towards the beginning of my career.
Oh my god, how old are you?
I'm like 80. So Counter-Strike and Dota are easily the top 2. After that, it's hard to list. I think if I had to take like 1 year of gaming that I enjoyed the most, I wouldn't say it's the best game ever. Actually, Heroes of New Earth, that was the most fun I've ever had playing a game, was the first year of Heroes of New Earth. That game was insanely good.
Yeah. I played it just one game, and then they closed it.
They closed it.
Yeah, it was before the last day of.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god!
They have some great heroes.
have only ever played one
And I
game of
enjoyed
Mod.
it. It
Yeah,
was
it's good.
cool.
Yeah, it was a cool game.
The best hero was that rocky guy.
Pebbles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiny then, yeah.
So that's how you will change your list.
I do
Or
a lot
maybe-
of tier lists, and it just depends on what kind of criteria you want to go by. But yeah, that list is pretty solid. I mean, Brood War is super legit. I could throw in like a random console game, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You remember that? That's probably before your time.
Also, I wasn't allowed to play video games from a young
That's
age,
correct.
so-
Especially not Mike Tyson
Way to
because of his
bring that up.
issues at the time. They had to rebrand it without his face on it, actually. You don't know who Mike Tyson is? All right, let's continue.
Okay, let's continue discussing favorite
really don't
games
know who that
and
is?
Is that a boxer?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
You don't
See?
know who is Mike
no,
Tyson
I
is?
just got it. I told it was a boxer.
God.
It was good.
Can you picture him in your head? What he looks like?
8 ears. He's eating ears.
Probably wearing
That
the gloves.
boxer.
Did you watch the fight where he ate Evander Holyfield's ear?
He ate someone's
He
ear.
ate his
Yeah.
ear off in a fight.
In
Like
the
he
fight.
swallowed it.
Well, no.
No,
He
no,
bit
no.
off part
Well,
of
then
his
he
ear.
didn't eat
Just
it off.
spit it.
Suns fan.
He might have eaten some particles, so
That's
technically
true, yeah.
he ate his ear.
You both have a new crush, Dota Underlords. Why? Why Dota Underlords?
Well, for me, it combines, two of my big loves in the same way that Artifact did, and I think it's kind of the same for both of us, which is like, I'm a big fan of Dota, I like all of the heroes, and of course, like, I play, like, card games. Recently, I've been playing a lot of poker, and it's, like, a lot of, like, probability. We both played auto chess as well, and it's just, like, it's a strategy game that is Dota-based.
So you played our original Auto Chess.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you played TFT?
I tried it out. Honestly, I was kind of excited for it. I was like, I never liked League of Legends, but maybe I could get into this. But just like trying it out, it didn't feel great. I kind of like underestimated like how annoying it would be to like learn all the new heroes, and the look of it just didn't look good. Like the visual.
I feel like I've talked so much shit about TFT already.
Yeah, well, you said the same thing. Like the look,
No,
it just looks bad.
And this is the thing that I will probably never understand. Like when League of Legends first came out, and I believe Han was out at the time. Like, there's no way League is going to be anything.
Yeah.
Because it looks so bad. But apparently, I'm the one that's in the minority of being a fan of that art style. Like, and
Cartoony style.
right? And some people I think there's varying levels of this, of course. Some people love that. Some people just don't care about the art style, which is fine. For me, I physically cannot bring myself to play a game that I think looks horrible. So that's why I've avoided that. But in terms of Underlords, basically what Swim said. And I also feel like I'm just a Valve fanboy at this point. Unpaid fanboy. But I just like the way that they do stuff. And of course, the Dota universe it just makes a lot more sense for me.
Okay, the perfect strategy to win right now after the head-to-head patch.
Knights.
Knights.
Well, I think Demons Knights are the two first things that come to my mind. But I think the patch overall, even though it's been a small sample size, and Swim can probably speak to this better than I can, it's been like pretty damn balanced. I think it might be the most balanced patch and most exciting patch so far we've seen.
But why the Knights then the most powerful?
I think Joel was saying this yesterday, that he feels because of the free rerolls, which you take advantage of a lot during the mid game, the 3 costs specifically, you get a lot of Knights for that. That's why we're seeing a lot of like 3-star CKs, Lunas, and Abaddons. Some Omni Knights, but seems to be less favored.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. If we're talking alliances, like Knights and Demon Hunters are probably the best thing. Right now, as of now, you don't really run Demon Hunters more than just the 2 Demon Hunters. You don't even really want to run a Demon in there. It's just like Anti-Mage and Terrorblade. I think the biggest change with the patch that people aren't really talking about very much is that the best strategy right now is kind of like play a bit more for economy and try to not build what other people are going. This is part of the reason Sunsfan is saying that the game feels very balanced right now, because you're more incentivized than ever to build what other people aren't going. Do you know why that is, Sunsfan?
Because, well, number one, the game ends sooner than we've been used to and accustomed to in the past, right?
Why?
So the game is faster now.
Well, the game is faster, yeah. But the last patch, you die pretty much immediately, right?
Yeah.
So you're asking why are people going different strategies?
Yeah, not the same ones. Or like, why are people incentivized too? I'm just curious.
Well, free rerolls allow you to build different compositions, and a lot of times when you have these compositions in place in mid-game, you stick with them, I feel like. Is that the case to a degree?
It's close. Basically what I would say is that there's this concept of role value that I like to talk about. It's a variable, it's like a mathematical value of the EV you get from every time you see a new shop, right? And right now, because you see about 12 free hero shops per game, something like that. I'm interested to know what the actual average is. But you see so many more free shops that the idea of playing for role value is really incentivized. Anything that plays towards increasing the value you see every time you see a shop, right? And that means that 3 stars are good because, of course, when you're looking for more of things that you want on more roles, you want to build 3 stars. But it also means like building strategies that other people aren't already building is good because you get more shops. So you need to be on things. The probability of blocking each other is higher. So like blocking just matters more. And I think that's really good for the game. I think that's probably the single biggest thing that the reroll change actually did. And that's why when we're cast, we talk so much about blocking and about like the value of going different builds.
So, can you share with us the tactic for a new user, for a brand new user? What if I am a noob and I want to win exactly right now? And the first day I want to be big boss. What should I do?
6 knights.
6 knights.
Yes, sir.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
Brawny.
Brawny.
Yeah, no. Brawny's pretty bad.
So
apparently.
6
It's not
knights.
bad, but I think Juggernaut's going to get a buff again, right?
Yep.
It has to get another buff. He's getting micro buffed right now, the Dota style, if you will. And once he gets to a point where he actually can be the right clicker of Brawnies, then I think Brawny becomes a lot better. But I do like the changes to a lot of the alliances, so it's going to make things much more interesting.
So, 6 knights and maybe some Brawnies will make the deal.
Well, not with Knights. I think Knights are tanky enough. They don't need a fatty in the front. But
Is the original Dota 2 superseded by underlords? What do you think? Or could it be someday that mobile version is gonna rule the gaming industry?
I think, yeah, mobile is kind of crazy right now. It's mostly for casual gamers. I don't know if Underlords falls into that category precisely, but it definitely opens the door for something that Dota has absolutely no foot in, which is the casual gamer, or whatever you want to call people that are playing Underlords right now. I mean, if you look on the subreddit, for example, we talked about this before, I've never been involved in a community that, I wouldn't say they don't care about the competitive gaming, but they don't care nearly as much as other stuff, right? Like if you go to Dota, it's all competitive. If you go to Artifact, even the RIP in that one, but all they cared about was competitive stuff, and I'm not used to that. So that's really good for Valve because that's something they have not had any access to, really.
Yeah, you know what I like in Dota Underlords, that in other disciplines you need to have a team, or you need to be, or you need to have a great deck, like in Hearthstone. You need to donate. In Dota Underlords, you can be a casual gamer who can participate in tournament right now, right there. I participated in this tournament with my brother. We were eliminated on the round 2, but I had no team. I had no money paid in the game, and I participated in tournament and had a chance. So I like in Dota Underlords that everyone can be can feel himself as a cyber gamer.
Right. No, it's kind of, I think the concept of Dota was supposed to be like that, right? That the monetization model was brilliant because it's actually free to play. You don't have to do anything to gain the same advantage as
But in
other
Dota,
people.
I need a team to participate in tournaments.
For tournaments specifically, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to just pub, which I think 99% of people are doing in Underlords anyway, you don't really need to do that, right? It's just matchmaking. The difference is, though, to get your foot into the door of Dota, it's vast amounts of knowledge you need. With Underlords, there's some knowledge for sure, but the ceiling's not nearly as high.
Yeah. I'm sure you know the overrated, underrated show. You know what it is. Overrated, underrated.
I can guess.
You can guess. You've never
say
seen it on
overrated or
YouTube? Okay, I'll show you, I'll demonstrate you some pictures.
Ooh.
And you will tell me, is this thing or this person overrated or underrated?
This is actually the perfect show for us because we are very opinionated. He's always going on about things being overrated or underrated. I'm always going on about the same thing. This is like our entire thing.
Let's do it.
Egypt, the real trophy. Do you think it's overrated or underrated?
You mean just the trophy itself?
Yeah, just the trophy itself.
Does it have a rating? It's just a trophy.
Yeah.
So winning, does that mean like winning TI?
Winning TI, yeah.
Oh, it's, if anything, I guess underrated?
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be overrated. You make so much money.
Okay, but if we talk about the thing, only about ages,
The trophy itself.
the trophy itself.
Okay, I'm gonna say overrated. I suppose.
You don't like design?
I mean, it's fine. It's just so every Dota tournament, like all these big tournaments, come out with these crazy trophies, right? There's the Aegis, there's the Divine Rapier, there's the Radiance, there's whatever big item, the Eagle Song, whatever. And then for Captain's Draft, you know what we picked? We picked a goddamn mango. That's what everybody wants as a trophy is a mango or a tango or boots of speed. So in terms of design, overrated.
This is overrated.
You just gave someone like a straight up mango.
Yeah, no, it was an actual trophy.
Oh, it was. I thought you just went to like the produce aisle and you just.
No, we're not that cheap. Okay, I thought about it.
Okay, so what about ages in game?
I was actually talking with Sunsfan about this.
Uh-huh.
This last patch actually buffed Aegis a bit. I think the item is like probably at least twice as strong as it used to be before the patch for a lot of different reasons. But I would say like overrated. I think that's right now. I talk with a lot of like Lords players because I'm very like try to be statistical when I make stuff like tier lists. And right now, about like 85% of Lord tier players really like Aegis, and about like 15% of like Lords tier players don't think it's very good. And I'm in the 15% that don't think it's very good. But this last patch might have changed that. It's definitely better in this patch.
I'm gonna say overrated because everyone thinks it's great, and
That's a fair answer.
it's good, but it's not like the best thing ever.
Honestly, that's a fair answer.
So that's a very cop-out answer, but I do
Yeah.
like Aegis.
Yeah, I can agree with you. LAN tournaments. What do you think? LAN tournaments, is it overrated or underrated thing?
Overrated.
As like someone who might want to go there as a spectator, or what do you mean?
From every aspect imaginable. I lost a lot of money running a LAN, so I might be a bit biased in this regard. I don't know. I personally like the whole viewer experience being in person. It's fun, but a lot of times it's a real hassle, and you have to be in that city for it to be worth it. I feel like
You have to go outside.
You have to go outside. You have to socialize with actual people. Like who wants to do that? But
Actual people.
like if you need to travel, like cross state, cross country to get to a LAN, I feel like it's probably not worth it. That's a lot of money, a lot of investment. And it's not like it's not fun, of course, because you get to hang around people that are a lot like you, which is really cool. But from my personal perspective, it is a little bit different. It's definitely skewed towards being overrated.
Overrated.
I like
So you
online
think
tournaments.
it's overrated?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why you have such small picture. Because it's
We've
overrated.
technically agreed on all of them so far.
I'm sure that won't last.
Okay, after the semi-pro tournaments, it's semi-pro tournaments.
Semi-pro tournaments.
Yeah, semi-pro tournaments.
See, this is the thing. Like, this is hard to answer because
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
What do you mean
Like,
exactly?
specifically, like if I can come up with any criteria, right? I can say semi-pro tournaments are very underrated because they need more love, or I can say they're overrated because who cares about semi-pro? I don't know.
Yeah, so it's in the middle of it.
Okay, so I guess if I had to pick one, it'd be underrated.
Okay, after parties.
Super overrated. Holy shit. Holy shit, I hate after parties. The WePlay one is probably one of the better ones because I'm actually socializing with people. There's not music blasting in my ears. If there's music loud enough to where I have to literally scream to talk to people, it's garbage. People don't seem to understand after parties. The best possible after party for nerds like us. We've been casting the entire tournament. I want to play the game already. I want to play so bad. I want a LAN setup.
I want to just like go to bed or just have some me time.
Okay,
some quality me
sure,
time.
but if you had to go to a party itself, I would want it to be
I
a
agree.
LAN party, if anything.
Honestly though, if I just spent like 10 hours casting a game, the last thing I would want to do is play that game. That's where we differ.
Okay.
But I agree, after party is very overrated. People always trying to get me drunk. I don't drink.
But what about finding a girl on these after parties?
Well, I don't think my girlfriend would be
Here,
okay with that.
Pull up in the next screen. Pull up girls, and we'll hash that one out.
Okay. Let's see if you're right. Prize money.
super overrated for TI. Very overrated. And well, it depends on how you look at it. Again, like winning that money is not overrated, but the tournament itself. I've talked about this on my podcast. I think the TI prize pool is really hurting Dota because the rest of the scene is just like put on the back burner. Nobody cares about any of the tournaments. Third parties are having a hard time making money because if you have like $100,000 prize pool, players who are used to 25, well now it's 31, 32 million dollars. They're gonna like, I don't need to play in that. I got TI I can go to. So from TI specifically, it's quite overrated.
It's crazy money.
Yeah, and then for other tournaments, prize pool, so I guess overrated in general. Anyway.
Yeah, somewhat. I think it's a little bit hard to for most people to make a living out of it. One thing I'm kind of curious on is what the underlords tournament scene is going to be like. For example, when Artifact was a thing for those brief
days,
I'll give it weeks. It was weeks.
Okay.
It was weeks. Valve, there was talks of their like Artifact TI or whatever, the $1 million tournament, which might have spawned more. I'm curious if that like project is getting funneled into Underlords, what that scene is going to look like, what the money there is going to be like. It'll be very interesting to see how the next like 6 months plays out.
But right now, prize money, if we're talking about TI, is overrated or underrated? Overrated.
We're both just saying overrated to everything, basically. This is the kind of people we are.
Okay, Twitch.
Ooh.
Is Twitch overrated?
I'm a little biased. I mean,
it depends on your perspective.
Do you mean like from the consumer perspective? Like for it, it's a really weird question to answer.
No, I don't think it's from a consumer point. From your point, from your streamer point, is Twitch overrated thing? Or there's other options?
Yeah, it's very overrated. I never understood streams. I don't know what the appeal is. I've never watched a stream in my life. You guys are laughing. I'm not joking.
He's not kidding.
I've never watched a stream in my life. I don't understand what people get out of it.
I'm going to say underrated because I enjoy watching streams. Even this idiot streams on occasion. And I think the general public, in terms of non-gamers, they don't understand. So from a grand consumer standpoint, super underrated, although it's getting to the point where people are starting to see it as a mainstream thing. Thanks to Fortnite.
It's all about Mixer, dude.
Yeah,
No.
now it's Mixer.
No, I so want to ask you, Swim, about the channel of a Sounds fan, Dota Cinema. I don't have a picture for it. It's just
it can't be overrated. Nobody watches any of this.
Is it overrated or underrated?
Nobody rates it anymore. Nobody watches it.
Yeah. So underrated.
Oh, you broke his
I think,
heart,
honestly,
man.
I will say, I've never told you this in all of our
I feel like this is going to get
years
very weird.
of knowing each other. I was a bit of a fan of Dota Cinema. Way back when you guys still made good stuff. Like a long time ago, and this is actually something we were like talking about when we were doing media day. I mentioned it. It's like, around the part where you guys stopped doing your big segment weekly.
Top 10?
Yeah, your top 10 plays or whatever. We were talking about that. You said you just didn't have good footage. And I was saying I honestly respected that you didn't just force bad quality content just to make the weekly
we
stuff.
tried.
Yeah, you tried. Okay,
We definitely
sure.
tried.
Okay, now the respect is drying up. But it was there for a while.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I at that point, like when I was playing Dota, it was a nice thing to like watch, every week with my girlfriend.
So, no more girlfriend, no more Dota Cinema.
Exactly.
Connection? Maybe.
Okay, so what do you think about his channel, Swim channel?
Oh, it's very educational,
Overrated or underrated is the question.
I guess underrated. I don't know how many subs you have now.
50 grand like this.
50K?
Yeah, very low.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's still underrated. He's a good young lad. I mean, I wouldn't get advice from him in terms of how to live your life in general. But for gaming, he's got it. I mean, he's very eloquent, right? He can talk very plainly. I think he's a little edgy at times, of course, but that's part of his persona. I think a little bit, even though he's not gonna admit to this, but big part of that is definitely an act, which I can understand because, like, when I'm on camera, I'm very social. He's seen me off camera. I'm not social. I'm very tired all the time. Probably something wrong with me.
He walks around like a husk of a man.
I'm a zombie, man.
Someone who is dead inside.
Yes,
He
I am
really
dead.
is a literal living zombie.
So when we switch off cameras, he'll turn into zombie.
See, I just conserve all my energy for when the camera is on, because I just have a lack of energy in general.
Okay, so
Get that checked out.
the channel of a stream is underrated for you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to the pictures. Instagram. Let's get it fast because we are short on the time, guys. Instagram.
I don't even know what this is. This like okay. I mean, so I don't really use social media. This is where people like post pictures of like food and like their clothing and stuff. It's just like is it all just pictures of their lives?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So it's overrated for you.
It's like Facebook
Exactly.
Lite, I guess you could say. I'm going to say super overrated because
Right.
Facebook bought it, and I cannot stand Facebook. They are the worst. Even though nobody likes Facebook anymore, they're still overrated because I cannot say anything positive about them. Garbage. I like Instagram, though, but overrated.
Okay, the PlayStation 4 Pro.
PS4?
Yeah, PS4 Pro.
I'd say overrated just because it's a console. I don't think you can get your money's worth for... I mean, you're paying $500 for a console, $60 for each game, when you can be on PC.
Torrenting games, exactly.
Yeah, I
I
was
was
actually-
getting them all for free.
Yeah, just pirate everything. You know, no big deal. Yeah, I think it's just better value for a computer. I mean, especially for some people that like to upgrade, because, you know, you hit your cap really fast. Once
Right.
the console comes out, it's even when it just comes out, computers are still performing at a higher performance. Games look better on PC. I can use my 4 screens. It's hard to do on a PlayStation 4.
Yeah. Or if you like to play big boy games, right? I mean,
True.
well, I don't know. I mean, have you seen like a tournament for Overwatch where they're all playing on controllers?
Oh my
Like,
god.
No, I'm serious. They all just pick Torbjorn. Like,
Maybe one day we'll see you playing Dota 2 on the console.
I think the only way it would
Madness.
work, the only way that Dota or any game that requires any skill whatsoever would work for console is if they have something implanted in your brain where, you know, it can read your thoughts on what you want to do. That's it. Controller is the big crux, if you will.
Okay, so Xbox One.
yeah,
All right,
we can-
mega over.
yeah,
This is a real piece of shit. PS4 is at least good. I bought this and the PS4 at the same time because we were doing a channel. This is the biggest pile of shit that's ever
Why?
come out.
Why?
This is the worst fucking console of all time. The only thing good about Xbox is their controller is probably the best because it's very comfortable. In terms of the hardware, within a week, felt like I had like spyware almost on the freaking console. It's just so fucking slow. This thing's a
Spyware?
piece of shit. God, I hate this thing. God.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
rant over.
Did you met Xbox One X before in your life?
No, I didn't have any video games. But yeah, what he said. I'm not a console gamer. I'm PC all the way, baby.
Okay, mages.
There we go.
Mages in Dota underlords.
Currently, right now.
Yeah.
Well, mages are good. I say underrated. I mean, it depends on your
Yeah, perspective, your rank.
exactly. So I think from pro, it's going to be hard to say underrated, but from Big Boss 4, probably underrated. Not a lot of people are going mages, myself included. I find it kind of difficult to find ways to transition. Not that it's that difficult. I just kind of forget about it because I get focused on going like all savage or some garbage strat. But for my rank, underrated, I think.
It's about even, I guess, a little bit underrated in general. There's a lot of situations where you can run 3 of them. It's pretty fair right now. Nothing
In the
crazy.
middle.
Yeah, 6 mages is pretty bad, but I personally think 6 mages has always been bad. Like, everyone always thinks 6 mages had, like, and it was the same thing in auto chess, like, between 6 mages and 3 mages. Like, in both games, people think that, like, early on 6 mages was better and then 3 mages got better over time, but it's just people got better. It's like 6 mages was... There were some times in both game, in auto chess at least, where 6 mages was at least decent. And in Underlords at the start, it was probably about as good as 3 mages. But, you know, even a lot of Lords players, it was pretty divided whether 6 mages or 3 mages was better pretty early on.
All right, Valve, you heard it here first. You can unnerf Coddle just to see how strong 6 mages actually is.
Okay, what about Arc Warden? After the
Underrated.
patch?
I think so. Here's the thing for me. I don't know how to play this hero because his alliances are just weird, and they've changed them. I think twice each for each alliance at this point. But as a unit himself, I think he's super cool the way that he works. There's a lot of
Even after the nerf.
Yeah, the nerf is more like taking it from something that's super OP to something that is generally balanced, but it's very item dependent. I feel like. I think he's super underrated. I actually like this unit a lot.
Yep, he got pretty buffed by this last patch too. Things favor him a lot better. The ability for Big Time Contract to exist in its current form. Big Time Contract got a big buff. Equipables all got buffs. Global items don't exist now, so you find more things you can equip. Arc Warden's very item dependent, you need equipables. On top of that, Primordials are better because 3 stars are more important. You're more inclined to go towards path for your 1 costs. I think 1 costs are really important because you're going to find yourself in a lot of situations on like round 5, round 6 where you have like 4 or 5 1 costs and you're kind of committed to pathing that way in the future. And Tiny and Razor both being 1 cost, Morphling being 2 cost. Arc Warden is like a good completer there. So Arc Warden got buffed in like 4 very indirect ways in this last patch. I think he's underrated.
Okay, that's the answer.
Computer has spoken.
I thought it was a rap. Okay, the pancakes.
Oh, underrated.
Overrated.
This can never be overrated because it's literal greatest meal that you can ever consume. I forgot to even mention. I said burgers. You fucking forgot about pancakes.
Yeah, you forgot about it.
Get these garbage blueberries out of it. There's no fruit allowed on pancakes. It's just, and that's not nearly enough syrup. Like you can barely see the syrup. It's supposed to be completely drenched. Like every bite is supposed to have like
They need to be
half a
sunk in
spoonful
the
of syrup.
Oh,
I love pancakes.
I don't know what it is with me. There's this weird thing with me. I don't know if you know this about me.
You don't like breakfast. I know.
Okay, I told you.
Yeah. You're weird.
He knows.
Okay, sounds fair. Look at the picture.
Oh my god, super underrated. Dude, cats are the best.
How are cats underrated? Literally everyone on the planet loves cats.
Because it doesn't matter. There's some people that don't, and they're scum. You know, hopefully they don't watch this. We have a neighbor who's really nice, and his girlfriend does not like cats, so she's banned from the house. We don't allow her. We don't even invite them anymore.
How many cats do you have?
3.
3 cats.
Yeah. So I can understand if you're allergic, but other than that, cats are like, look at this.
Look at this picture.
Like, it's not saying that dogs are bad. I like dogs a lot
Aww.
too, you know, but underrated still.
Cats are pretty overrated. No. I will say I do like cats.
Uh-huh.
I personally live with one. I think that they're neat. I don't think they're necessarily a detriment to mankind. I just think they happen to be a bit overrated. I mean, everyone likes them. You know, I mean, they're all right.
This is where the edginess comes from.
Yeah.
What?
This is your edgy attitude.
We got like 15 questions in, and now you're just like
this is the one you're sprinkling in.
That's why this game called overrated, underrated.
Every
Underrated,
every opinion
overrated.
here is edgy. That's the whole point.
We have 2 points of view, so okay. That's all about this cats and all
More
that
cats,
stuff.
please.
We have no cats. No more cats. So let's imagine gaming industry in 20 years. I'm gonna ask you some questions, and you feel free to fantasize.
Fortnite.
What should BTI 2039 prize pool
For TI,
for TI, the international?
$1 million.
What?
Well, he
$1
said-
million
he said the price
in
pool was overrated.
2039?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not sustainable the way it is now. I guess with inflation, it's going to be more than $1 million. So I'm being a little edgy here. Maybe like $5 grand. Let's say $10 million. $10 million.
$10 million.
First of all, the game will not last that long, but if it does, they'll see the error in their ways in terms of long-term sustainability, like trying to actually help the scene as a whole, knowing that next year's $50 million prize pool might be a bad thing for everybody else, other than the 5 players that win that fucking.
What do you think, Swain?
I kind of disagree. I mean, I think that obviously it's better for the players themselves for there to be like the money more evenly distributed among like, you know, the majors and like the other tournaments throughout the year. But at the same time, I mean, like one big event does a lot for like spectatorship, attracting like attention, like mainstream media and stuff like that. That like big time of year where that rolls around, it gets on people's radars, it gets attention. I think there's merit to that. That being said, he knows the industry better than I do in terms of like Dota and like how those specific events work. So
so it will be $10 million. Okay, who could be the most popular streamer?
Dr. Disrespect. Dude, that guy could be
39.
That guy could be 90 years old in a goddamn wheelchair, and I'm pretty sure he's still going to be pretty entertaining. So easy answer.
You think so too?
Yeah, sure. I like I said, I don't really watch streams.
I see. Esports tournaments gonna look like?
I think they will be bigger than traditional sports by far. I mean, it's already on scale or on path to do that now, but yeah, it's going to be like the arena. I mean, that in that many years, maybe people don't leave their house like us. We're just like the we're the next evolutionary step in disgusting human beings. Like from an ape, it's like this, and it's starting to go downhill with our generation, I would say. But if there is an arena, it would be huge. But I think it's more likely that these huge events would be taking place more online, actually.
Yeah.
So easy answer: esports and Olympian Games. There will be esports more than Olympian Games in 2039.
Oh, there will probably be, and all of us here are gonna hate this. There's probably gonna be like some decently sized tournaments for literal mobile games that players show up playing on their phones.
Oh yeah, of course.
Which is like, well, but when I say decently sized, I mean pretty big. Not like big, but pretty big.
I think big.
Oh yeah, maybe big.
For sure, big.
Which, I mean, when it happens in like 5 or 10 or 15 years.
When I was at WCA, which by the way was the worst tournament I've ever attended, back with my team, it was in this cold, it was the most unorganized. I mean, I can go on and on about this tournament. It was just horrible. But on this base level where everybody was playing, we would have like all these tables set up with all the players, and the Dota team was right here. The Dota team got kicked off because some other team had to play, and I look away for a few minutes and look back, and it's actually people with their phones sitting where the computers are. Like, are you fucking serious? You could be you can be anywhere doing this. There's no reason that you're taking up a computer when you're not actually using it. And that's WCA, worst organization of all time.
Okay, and the last one, Mixer or Twitch in 2039.
I don't think anyone heard of Mixer until 2 days ago.
Yeah, but that's a couple decades.
No, I know. I'm just like, I mean,
I'm gonna say neither.
Yeah, neither is.
There's gonna be a third entity that comes. Google will own everything by the time, or Apple. Ugh, if it's Apple, just kill me. But Google will have something, I'm sure.
I like Twitch.
I mean, Twitch. Amazon is basically Google, right?
Amazon is basically Google. I think Amazon has a good future as a company. So I like Twitch, honestly, more than Mixer. And that's not just because I stream on Twitch.
Okay.
I just realized that Google owns YouTube.
Yeah, Google owns YouTube.
All right, it's not Google. It's Twitch. It's not YouTube. Google. Live YouTube has died already.
And I know the right answer for this question. WePlay.
Mm-hmm. In 30 years, in how many? 20 years? 30 years?
Yeah. Mixer or Twitch, I hope it will be WePlay.
Oh, as a streaming platform. Oh.
Yeah, it will be a brand that will have a...
Sounds good.
Sounds good for me.
It's a good name for a streaming platform. WePlay.
You should call it UPlay.
UPlay. Not me.
I think too many people are going to misspell that when visiting certain sites that they might...
Yeah, YOUP.
Too much.
Yeah, okay.
This is the end. I really appreciate talking to you. We're really glad to see you in Kyiv in Ukraine. We have 2 special guests today. It was a swim. It was a Suns fan. 2 well-known YouTubers, gamers. Subscribe to our channel WePlay. Subscribe to our Telegram channel. Subscribe to everything you find in the internet called WePlay. And subscribe to these guys too. It was Bramble Ramble, and it was me, Pranik. See you later, next time.